When I think hard about who I am, I must certainly include DNA. It would seem odd that an astrophysicist would include DNA as an exercise in the study of the creation of the universe, but to me it would be odd not to include this subject. DNA is a creation of our universe. It may be hard to rank the parts in importance that make the universe, but in the simple question of who am I, this would be first in my list. I will admit I am not an expert on the complex components inside the molecule or even the chemical interactions, but I do understand what DNA is and its importance. In the most simple of descriptions, it is the instructions that processes follow to create life. It has the ability to control a being in such a way that we can take the resources in our environment and create a living being, and then run the processes with detailed instructions to sustain the living being. This may seem like an oversimplification, but that is truly what it does. Like anything that is beyond our current understanding, we can study something, dissect the components, and even watch the outcomes of a process and not truly understand it. Like gravity, for example, we have mastered the ways to measure it. But I don't care who claims to understand it, they don't. Of course, possibilities can be examined, but these are nothing more than thought exercises. I can only create my own idea of DNA, just like anyone for that matter, and I'm sure maybe a deeper understanding of the physical characteristics may sway my thoughts, but I feel something in the DNA causes beings to evolve. The evolution that lead to who I am. Does it seem possible that somewhere in the instructions of a single-celled creature would eventually be the path that leads to a human? This, in my opinion, is exactly what happened and may be happening throughout the universe. We also may just be an intermediate being on the pathway to something we don't even have the possibility to contemplate. Now, I even argue with myself about the importance of instructions that lead to a thinking being allowed to reach the point of self-realization or the ability to contemplate reality. Look at the dinosaur. Was that a dead end of evolution? Are there many dead ends in the path of a thinking, realizing being? My only conclusion is there must be billions or trillions or an unmeasurable amount of evolutionary paths that have failed, and what would be the eventual purpose of the path? Back to the same question. I like to dream of possible scenarios like some intelligent force that spreads the seeds throughout the universe, waiting until a being evolves to a point that allows the creation of a signal that could be detected, a way to discover habitable planets. We would just be a machine that eventually builds a machine that communicates our existence. Maybe this process took far longer on Earth than originally planned, interrupted by environmental conditions. I very rarely come to a conclusion in my thought process, but I am certain in my own limited mind that this was no accident. I can with some certainty equate that I am some type of machine and can only conclude that I was created for some purpose, a purpose-built machine.